Archers, attack! Keep firing! Let none escape! Another down! Do not relent!
Greetings, listener. I'm standing behind you right now because the War Within date is coming. I'm Slidewhistle.
It's your boy, Immunization. Hello.
And it's me, Aaron, Fire Mage Extraordinaire and Horde Punching Bag. And my chair is creaky, and it was really creaking last episode, so I'm over here in the corner, trying to remain as motionless as possible.
Like a marionette on a kitchen shelf.
You know, the cicadas haven't, made themselves known here in our parts of Chicago, or anywhere, I think, in Chicago, so someone had to step up.
I think I went to high school with a girl named Cicadia. It's such a beautiful name. She was 5'6" in the 3rd grade, and we were all like, damn, how did Cicadia do that? And then later I realized it was just corn syrup.
She unearthed from the ground 17 years later.
She said, I've been brewing, and I'm going to be kicking the back of your seat. Because they didn't teach me how to act when I was in the ground. Kick, kick.
Just like, we're kicking in the door because we got the War Within date. It's, August 26th for the people who didn't pay for early access.
You cheapo, you only want to spend $60 on a game? Neener, wait till the 26th.
Yeah, so early access for the rich people is August 22nd. I also feel like this news dropped, right after we recorded, potentially the day that we released our last episode. So
yes, it was
old news, I guess.
Saturday. So yes, I apologize everyone who's hip and happening who records at the beginning of the week. They already told you, but now we're telling you. We caught you with that SEO title that you can see.
Yeah, we got you. Also, since we're at the beginning of the episode, if you out there want a beta code and you don't have one yet, send an email to novaracoffin@gmail.com. I got a beta code, and I'll just give it to you if you email me fast enough.
You also got a beta code despite the fact that you purchased your way in?
Well, I bought the Epic Edition way back when, and then I bought the Collector's Edition because I want the box and the stuff inside. So when I put in the code for the box edition, it'll refund me for the difference between the Epic, blah, 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 blah. So basically, I have 2 beta codes because of that.
Fun.
Just a little bit of housekeeping before we dive into news. You can still participate in our Pride Mountain Contest. Submit us a screenshot wherever you want to. We will find it and compile it, but most people seem to be doing it on our Discord, which you can get to by going to donotRelent.com and clicking on the Discord link.
You can also just email us at donotRelentPod. It's fine at Gmail. But also, remember, it's Pride Mountain / Ham City theme. So just take a picture of, really, honestly, whatever the fuck you want. It's fine.
Really, honestly, just send us a cool-looking mog and we'll throw it in there. If I was to fully explain the theme, it would take me 2 minutes. So just something cool. Put a little spit shine on it.
Yeah, mountaineering, Ham City Pride theme, but anything theme, really. We don't care. So anyway, the War Within. That shit is crazy. They also gave us a season 1 announcement for when that's coming out, which would be September 10th. So I'm like, Jesus, let me start planning my fucking vacation time, which I've already submitted, ready to go.
Yeah, and some people in our guild were talking about these dates. I don't remember exactly how long the pre-patch was going into Dragonflight, but I feel like it's not just going to be a week, probably. With the timing of when Pandaria Remix ends, I feel like there's going to be a little bit of an overlap of when pre-patch is here and when we're just in the ending hours of weeks, days, I don't know, of Mop Remix. Oh, hell yeah. Grip it and rip it, baby.
Well, if you remember way back when, I was listening to an old episode, and there was an overlap between Plunderstorm and Hearthstone event. Maybe that's just what they do for these things now. It's there's a week of in between, so that you're never without something happening.
Yeah, I don't know. Fireball's older brother said it can't be a month out. Or they always have it a month out. So, I mean, according to him,
do we know Fireball's older brother, or did he just warble that at us?
He said that in the Discord.
I see.
Yeah, no lore. I don't think that any Uno Mas historians know anything about his brother. I don't know that he's ever mentioned his brother before this moment, or why his brother's opinion matters any more than anyone else's. I don't know. Is his older brother Blizzard? I don't know.
His older brother was John Heights, but too bad he's gone. I'm sure we'll touch on that later, but he's gone because all of you meanies drove him away with your mean words.
I don't actually know why he left. Did he say the reason?
He's old. It's just he's old. And people are like, what do you mean? He's only like 58. He had been at Blizzard for 12 years, so it's the same reason that a lot of like the old guard is leaving. It's less like they don't believe in the product anymore. It's just like he just wants to not do video games anymore.
I don't even think that's not even that old. He said he's doing video games still. 58's not old.
Did he?
Yeah. He
Why are any of these guys still? You got your bag. Why do you?
Not everyone. You know what passion is?
Not everyone can be the 70-year-old guy who does the Elder Scrolls things.
Here,
Get out of the game. Enjoy retirement.
I'll read John Height. He's 58. He can't even retire yet. I'll read his tweets. After 12 incredible years at Blizzard, I've decided to step away and start a new quest. It was a tough decision, but I feel like now is as good a time as any. Warcraft is in an amazing position as the universe turns 30. I've been so honored to serve all the heroes of Azeroth. You are the most passionate, dedicated, and creative community in gaming. You are why I poured my heart and soul into creating the best game possible. As for what's next in my journey, I don't have any specifics to share quite yet, but I'm excited to explore new opportunities and challenges in the industry and to continue making great games with talented people.
So what, is he working on a project, or is he going on a project that hasn't been announced yet? Is that what that means?
It's kind of what it's giving. It's kind of giving like, I'm doing something. I wonder if he joined like one of the many other ex-Warcraft teams that are like out there making games. Maybe it's Marvel Snaps.
Ooh, Ben was sending him sassy notes at night. Well, you know, because he was, I did read it in a little write-up. John Height was a big fan of all of the supplementary material, including Hearthstone.
It actually is kind of crazy that he's leaving, because I feel like, other than Ian Hazuko, there's not really many other faces that we were seeing, like, at BlizzCon, other than Holly, right? But, like, he was one that, he kind of stepped up and was doing a lot of, like, the PR, like, face stuff. It's kind of actually, he's probably, like, one of the saddest people, I think. Like, I'm saddest most about him leaving out of, you know, the many others that have left recently.
Yeah, I do just feel like a lot of people have been leaving and things have been shuffled around. I do feel like distinctly War Within Onward is going to just feel like a different WoW, different Blizzard, etc. Like, I don't know. Is this just like a new era? Which they did say that, like, the story at least is going to be a new era. So we'll see. I mean, like, he is right that I do feel like WoW itself is in a pretty good place right now. Like, the patch cycle releases have felt good. I enjoyed Dragonflight. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it takes a lot for me to not enjoy something WoW though. So
I've never actively disliked. I've disliked parts of it, but I've always enjoyed the experience in general.
I feel like Dragonflight's probably my least favorite expansion that I've played through. I think we've said this already before, but I mean, like, yeah, I don't hate it. Like, I'm not like, oh, I'm never gonna play that. Like, I mean, I'm actually been closing up some loops. Wait, did you guys see what Mikey Ybarra said the other day? It was like maybe like a week ago or like 2 weeks ago on Twitter.
What'd Mikey Boy say?
I sent him to the Shadow Realm after he said that you should be able to tip game studios.
Okay.
If you're really enjoying a game, it's like, oh, just throw him an extra couple bucks. It's like, I'm throwing your former company a lot of extra bucks, Mike.
Yeah, so, like, this isn't, like, exactly what he said, but, so, it was in reference to, I believe it was the Pandaria, right? Like, remix. And he was like, it's been a great idea, but I think maybe next time Blizzard, before they release it, should do some more quality assurance testing, or some more quality testing on this game. And it's like, my dude, did he not, like, people were replying, he literally was part of the administration that fired the quality assurance team. He, like, let them go. And he's sitting here now as a player being like, I wish they had more quality assurance testing, when it was his fault.
Yeah, like, when it's a project that you were 99% involved in, and then you left at the end, you can't be like, oh, didn't turn out right. It's like, well, Michael, why didn't it turn out right? You steered the ship.
It's so fucked up. And that is the most WoW gamer thing I think you could possibly do. He's like the top tier of WoW shit gamer right now.
Yeah, that's honestly kind of embarrassing because, like, I don't know, like, does he assume all of us forget that he was personally responsible for removing, like, this quality assurance, like, team, or did he forget? Like, I don't know.
He's got gamer brain. What can you do?
He's over there. He's hanging out with his best friend, Phil Spencer, who was also firing all the people. And he said, Phil, I don't know why people are so mean to us.
Ugh. But hey, if you out there, listener, if you aren't subscribed to WoW, you didn't get Dragonflight, you want to check it out a little bit, now's the best time, I think, to do so. And I don't think we've had a bundle quite this good. The Welcome to Azeroth bundle has been introduced. You get 60 days of game time. You get access to the Dragonflight expansion. All, like 60 days left of it? And you get a level 60 boost for $25. That's probably the most, like, best cost price they've done, like, ever, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you think about it, just the 2 months alone add up to, like, more than that if you just pay month by month. Plus, like, to play, if you hadn't been playing, you would have had to purchase the expansion anyway. So, like, this is a really, really good deal if you're coming back to the game.
I'm trying to think if it would even be feasibly possible to do all the stuff to get a good experience out of it in, like you said, like the 60 days that are remaining until we move on. Like, Dragonflight had some lukewarm content, but it had a lot.
Yeah.
If someone is just getting in, I guarantee you they will not be able to get everything out of Dragonflight before it's like, move, we gotta go.
Yeah, I think it'd be like, it'd be kind of crazy. Like, you would never run out of stuff to do. Like, you'd have so much shit to go through. Check it out. Why not? Dip your toes
Go
back
ahead.
in.
Check it out. Play the Dragonflight. Come on.
Well, I have a feeling, guys, if people are listening to this podcast still at this point of Dragonflight, they probably have played Dragonflight a decent amount already.
You don't know. We have a surprisingly high listenership that doesn't even touch the computer anymore. And for you guys, I really appreciate that. Don't feel pressured to do anything, but if you want to check it out, now's the time.
Yeah, do whatever the fuck you want to do. Your cousin?
Yeah. Whoa.
Hey, Aaron signed on to it.
Hey,
whoa.
no, that was the delay. I said yeah at the beginning of the statement. Computers ruined me.
Hometown.
Hometown. And my tits don't sag, okay?
Yeah.
I love that lady. Okay, so the season 1, so we're within season 1 is September 10th, okay? So we've already established that the launch date is the 26th. What is that? Is that 3 weeks in between? Was that correct maths?
No, it's 2 weeks after. So it launches, and then you have 2 weeks.
We got so fucking lucky with this timing. Let me tell you. Because me and Immune are going to be in Seattle from September 2nd through the 9th, I believe. Is that the time frame? So when we get back, season 1 starts.
You guys going to go see the rain?
Rainforest Cafe.
Oh, I actually don't know if there's one in Seattle.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I'm trying to think of my friend Edward Burback who went to all
that
of
video of that guy who documented going to every single one of
yes.
them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I scheduled my time off. I took off like 3 days since, I have early access. I'll be able to play over the weekend. That's so fucked up that they make you pay to play over the weekend. Like, that is actually bullshit. But I had 3 days after that, and then I took off I was like, you know what? I have extra time. I'll take off a week. If I'm taking off the week when I get back for season 1. Like, I'm going balls in. Balls first.
So, I mean, like, the thing for me is that, like, I feel like for me personally, I would rather take time off when the first season starts, I guess, because I feel like besides, like, when it first comes out, I do like pulling, like, an all-nighter, or at least staying up late and just playing as much as I want, like, right when it first comes out, just like, experience the story and level. But, like, I don't know that, like, it's really a race for me or anything. And I do think it's nice that they've started doing this thing where, like, before any of, like, the raid or the Mythic Plus or PvP season starts, they like, give you time to experience all of that. So I do like that.
I think it's great for alts too. Like I can get my alt through the stuff. Like I can get like multiple characters ready to go for raid if I need them. It's also since BlizzCon's been canceled. This is it's like my mini BlizzCon. But we've got new affixes, which people have reacted with much vitriol to. I can kind of see why, but
talking about glup shittos, I don't know anything about any of these things, but people are very impassioned about it. Who do I need to kill at Blizzard to get Thundering out?
That's why John Haidt left. He had to save his own skin.
He said, "Oh, go." It was his little thing. It said John Haidt, VP of Warcraft / guy who created Reckless.
I can kind of see why people are apprehensive, but it's like, guys, how about we see it in practice first before we go freaking out? So new affixes, one of them is Reckless. Non-boss enemies without mana ignore 20% armor with their attacks, but their armor is reduced by 30% and they take increased arcane damage. So my eyes kind of glaze over when I'm reading that, but I think what it means, if you want casters that week, basically is what it seems like, and people are worried that then people will only want to stack casters.
Well, so who does arcane damage? Mages, evoker? Do evokers do arcane damage?
I don't know. Boomy Star Surge, is that arcane damage or is that nature damage?
I believe everything is nature over there.
Huh, this is interesting. Yeah, asking who does arcane damage, because then the next one is Thorned, and it's basically kind of the same thing, but it's like, whatever, something else. But it involves holy and shadow damage. Now, that's obviously priests. Paladins?
Yeah, and I think that's it.
And then there's someone else that does shadow. Or is it
Warlocks?
Fell? Warlock, I think, does shadow. Demon Hunters, is that Fell energy? Is that...
Yeah, this is weirdly one of the aspects of WoW I never really think about. Like, who's doing these types of damages? Because it hasn't really mattered.
It is sort of an archaic system, which, if you took that away, people would riot, I understand. But, we're not in a world where damage really matters, damage type matters anymore. So it seems like they're trying to go back to it with this, and it's leading to at least a lot of confusion in this podcaster.
Yeah, so the next we have Attuned, right? Kind of the same deal, increased magic, and then it's 10% increased nature damage and 30% increased damage from bleed effects. So for that one, I'm getting Druids and Arms Warrior.
Well, and then...
maybe Hunters put bleeds on, but
well, yeah,
I don't know.
or even, a rogue does nothing naturally.
Oh, yeah.
But they can make you bleed, so it's interesting that one's a lot wider. I feel like they could have tuned this better if you wanted it to just be I don't know, 2 classes are good each week.
Yeah, they also could have attuned this better, but I'm sorry, I'll excuse myself. But also attuned and focus, their wording is slightly different. It's enemies with mana. So I'm what? So the caster? Wait, what enemies have mana? Is that a thing?
So we're doing the War Within. We're going below it. So I guess a spider wizard. We're probably going to run into a lot of spider wizards down there versus spider berserkers who just hit you with their legs. Well, and then also, yeah, do these enemies have other things? Are we going to get further in this season? It's enemies with rage take 10% damage.
Oh, no.
But enemies with Maelstrom take 5% less damage. They're all using all the stupid energy sources we have to deal with.
I mean, maybe? And, I haven't even thought about that either. Okay, I pulled up a list. Arcane damage dealers. Mages, druids, hunters, and blood elves.
just blood elves in general.
Is that still a thing, or now this is WoW Wiki? Is WoW Wiki the good one or the bad one? I don't remember if we used this one.
I believe it is the bad one. What is the color of the background? Is it white or black?
It is white.
That is the bad one. That is the poor one.
That's the one for pores.
Because Blood Elves had their racial changed, right? And I don't remember what it is now, but I'm pretty sure it was a damage one before. So this could be a little outdated. But you know what? It's as outdated as arcane damage and shadow damage. Also, Death Knights do shadow damage.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Hunter main that you are, Immune, do you fire? I guess there is an arcane arrow, right?
Yeah, there's arcane shot, but I never use it. I mean, it's not in my rotation. Yeah, there's like no reason to use it. Like you would, I guess, hypothetically, you would use it as a filler, but like at that point, you would just use Cobra Shot because it reduces the cooldown of your other things. So like, there's not really a reason to use it.
Hunters actually are in all of these lists except for Holy, because like Black Arrow does shadow damage, stings do nature damage. Also, Rogue Poison is nature damage. So there. So I mean, it's a pretty wide swath. I don't know. People are acting kind of crazy about it. Let's just see how it plays out. Maybe it'll be bad. That's what beta's for, right?
Like, I'm not hypothetically mad at it. I just don't understand why. You know, it just feels weird to me. I'm like, okay. I mean, like, on paper, these things seem less egregious than some of the other affixes that have come and gone over the years. But on the other hand, I just don't understand why they're going with things like this based on type of damage. It just doesn't really make sense to me.
Yeah, it's kind of giving like basic, like anybody can kind of understand it. And I can see why maybe they're apprehensive to do like the click on the pillar and go to the Shadow Realm and run through the Shadow Realm to the other pillar where there's a demon in the middle that you gotta kill. And if you don't kill the demon, then it's like, wait, what? Like, new players would get lost like really quick with that shit. I was lost with that shit really quick.
Though this isn't replacing those kinds of things. This is replacing stuff like a tree will appear below you. Move out of the way, please. Or like a man is going to walk by you. Avoid the man. A man?
I want one where like greet the man / wave at the man.
That'd be so fucking annoying. What if I'm trying to think
what
is the longest like emote
applause
name? Ooh, it's Prettiest the Prideful. You have to do for the Alliance at him. Oh no! And then he just goes, he has 2 blue flags. He's like, going to Ironforge later, right? And if you don't respond to him, he's like, I guess I'm not going anywhere this Saturday.
People would ask for proof of macro. Use a macro on me to prove that you have it, or you can't go into the dungeon.
And then the Horde bias would go even further, because Horde's just a shorter word.
Ooh, that's a great segue into some of the Season 1 dungeons. They've made some changes for these, and some of these are kind of interesting, because we actually know these dungeons and can talk about these changes. So remember, Siege of Borealis is in the rotation. Players of both factions will go through the Alliance version of the dungeons in Mythic and Mythic Plus. We did it, folks! We won! All the Horde players have to do the Alliance way.
Is it bad that I wasn't sure that I don't think I knew that there was a Horde version of this dungeon?
The only reason that I know is because way back when I did my ranking of like the BFA bosses, I remember seeing just this large Kultiran man in a funny helmet, and I was like, what? And then I had to look into it, and it's like, oh, instead of Chopper the pirate, you get this guy.
Yeah, we start on like different sides of the dock to like symbolize like where they come in and where we come in, because we're already there, right? We're like defending it. It's like a weird thing. But now they have to do our shitty shark jump. I hate the shark jump so fucking much. And the Ashbane Spotter's sighted artillery no longer damages enemy creatures. There used to be cheese where you could keep some ads alive, and then the big red circle would be under you, and you can use the big red circle to nuke enemies. No more.
No, that's sad. I like that we like knew these tech, and now it's like, oh, well, sorry
about your bad luck. Necrotic Wake has some changes. This is the one with the big green room that I hate, right?
Yeah, this is the Bastion one that looks like it should be a Necrolord one, with the patchwork first boss, and then
you will fly
big
into
dragon
the
boss. And then, you fly up into the ziggurat, and then you're up there for like 25 minutes, yeah.
Ugh, the ziggurat. Okay, so they've disabled the Kyrian Goliath. It's gone. Sorry, folks, you're not getting your little blue balls to munch on in between fights. Honestly, good. Kind of hate waiting for those.
This is the one where you would have to summon your little dude and turn him on, right?
Yeah, it had to summon Pico. And then there's these little items that are around, like the hammer, the javelin, and the shield. The hammer, gone. They deleted the hammer out of the game. No stunning bosses for like 5 seconds. The javelin's damage has been reduced by 90%. Lame. You can't fucking just save 3 spears and nuke a boss.
I used to love that, like, on the bosses that we would hate, we would just, like, I think, like, for the last boss, we would just save, like, 3 spears, launch them, and then you'd go down to, like, 20% health.
I'm just thinking, how are we going to be dealing with the secret little tricks that you would get for being a certain covenant? Like, what are you going to do if you're like, oh, I'm brand new to the scene. I'm just going to fight the war within. And then you roll up and it's like, I never chose a covenant. I don't know what that means.
Well, the Goliath was a Kyrian one, so that's out.
Oh, that's what you were referring to.
So that one, yeah, they already got rid of that one. And then I'm trying to think. I think that's the only one in that zone because it's a Kyrian dungeon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they actually made the shield. They made the shield good. Now the shield is no longer channeled, and you can use abilities after shield is activated. Before, when you press the shield, you would have to channel the shield, and then you couldn't press anything, and it would just block damage. So now I'm gonna be grabbing that shield immediately, so I can fucking live. But to your next question, Aaron, Mists of Tierna Scythe. Remember how you could have a Night Fae Covenant and you could open, like, secret doorways.
So it was like the respawn things, yeah?
Yeah, and we never, ever even went straight at the beginning. You only ever went to the left. And then, yeah, they'd open up that area where you could get secret seeds.
Yeah, because we would basically always have a Night Fae. Now, the Vine gates and checkpoints are still there. But instead of being Night Fae, now they're used by Tauren, High Mountain Tauren, Night Elves, Druids, and Herbalists.
Horde bias.
Once again, not to toss my people, but you could have done any druid race.
Yeah, I feel like you could have thrown in like a Worgen with the Night Elves, so then it's like
Worgen,
2 and 2, right?
Coltierans.
Like, I know Troll aren't included.
I bet they considered it. I don't know. I guess what with the Worgen could just slash it with their claws, right? But then they'll kind of open the gate to being like, couldn't you just like cut it with a sword?
I don't know. I think they're stupid Tauren. I think there's stupid Tauren that don't know anything about magic. They're just like, oh, I'll just punch it. In which case, I don't know, any class or any race of any size can do it. Throw some Draenei in there. They're big enough to punch it down.
So this is the same. So it's opening those gates, but then is it also for opening the seeds?
Yeah, it says checkpoint, so it's also the seeds. So I'm just assuming they're just going for like the nature classes. You know, the Tauren crushed the flower in the opening cinematic and blew dust, and they're like, they all can do that if they really wanted to, I guess.
The dwarf is friends with a bear. That's pretty natural.
Hey, no, don't talk about that. That's why John Haight's leaving, because of that kind of criticism.
They're like, we've actually been trying to redact the friendship between dwarf and bear over the years. So we are very offended that you have brought this up and back into the limelight. Yeah,
there was that bit in the what are they called? Like the bear people that stand on 2 legs. The Furbolg. There was that bit in the Furbolg area where it's like, I love bears that stand on 2 legs. Stupid, dumb quadrupedal bears. Hate them. Always have.
Fight. Hey, what's that growly on the prowly doing with that sweet dog water?
Howdy, y'all. Growlina back from one of my patented extended absences. Though can you really blame me? There's not much for a girl like me to do out here. I thought I'd go back to Theramore to play a little hooky instead of filing my report when I found my friend Draknice. Drak, especially as a Drakthir, what are you doing in old-ass Theramore? I ran the bombing of Theramore scenario so many times in Remix that I wanted to go back and see what this place was before, you know. I've been walking around, though, and haven't seen anything to do. Well, That's the magic, my friend. There was never really much to do here anyways. So what was the city for? I don't hear anyone talk about it anymore. Well, we're all supposed to make the occasional journey back here to feel sad and kind of crummy that it's just a big hole now. Do you feel crummy? Kinda, I guess. Then you've done your duty as a WoW player. I'll help you get back to doing something of actual substance. Will I summon a portal for my scaly friend, though? Let's teleport all of you back to the show. Thanks, Growl. Hopefully that little report was enough of a distraction that we didn't lose any of you out there. We know this iPad kid generation can't stand a second of silence.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because Blizzard is making big moves to appeal to young Gen Z slash Gen Alpha. Is that what the skibbities are?
Yeah, the Alpha Knights.
Yeah, so I guess we will be getting Skibbity WoW. By that, I mean, apparently you will be able to play WoW on an iPad. I don't really know how that works.
So if there was Skibbity WoW, well, one, are they coming out of toilets?
I feel like you'd have to be, right?
I guess. I haven't seen a formal toilet around, but it'd be a little haunting to see it come out of an outhouse. And also, whose head is protruding from it? Someone famous or just like a guy?
Jaina.
That's what she's been reduced to. After her terrible writing in the Mists of Pandaria, this is what she deserves, to be Skibbity Jaina.
So I've been trying to decipher this because Wowhead said, basically, Apple announces increased support for modern games, including World of Warcraft, right? And then it says during the fucking Apple Developer Conference, which, you know what? I want to talk about that in After Dark.
Spoilers, we didn't. But we did talk about a bunch of other fun stuff, so give it a listen.
Also, if you want to hear, Jesus, we have, 60 episodes of After Dark?
Yeah.
If you want to hear,
you can listen to days now. We can actually say that you can listen to us for days.
There's 36 additional hours of content you can hear of us talking about the most randomest shit at our most drunkest points. Some of them pretty crazy, some of them a little mild, but check out our Patreon at patreon.com/do-not-relent. $5 a month to hear this shit. Do it or don't. I don't care.
Yeah, whether you buy it or not, we will be talking about random shit. If you want to hear us talk about random shit, go check it out. Otherwise, continue listening to this show or not. I don't care.
Okay, but so back to the article.
I just want to say, I do care. You don't have to, but I do care.
Aaron cares. That's our new theme song, by the way. I just kind of wrote it on the fly a little bit. I don't know if you guys noticed.
Wow, a real John Williams, a real Christopher Jingleberger over here.
Yeah, dude, John Jacob Jingle Christianberger. That's what they called me in high school.
You're over here just bouncing
that's my
around
name too.
like an ADD. I'm handing you this iPad with WoW on it to rein you in instead of parenting.
Wow. I can't wait to look at Skibbity Toilet. Okay, anyway. So, they said that Apple announced improved support for a variety of modern games, including World of Warcraft. While official support is still up to the game developers themselves, and Blizzard support for Mac OS is somewhat limited. Now, the only reason they're saying this is because they showed it in a tile picture of the other games, because I don't think the words were ever said World of Warcraft, right? It was just modern gaming, and here's some modern games we have on whatever.
So are you saying that people are running with this assumption?
That's kind of what it's giving. Because my thing is, if it can be on an iPad, right? Why can't it be on an iPhone? Aren't those very similar iOSs? iPhones are fucking powerful as shit now. I don't understand. And I've been reading this article, the transcript, and I'm not seeing the words World of Warcraft. However, I am seeing more games that are obviously higher intensive, like Death Stranding, Director's Cut. That's gonna fucking brick an iPad, right? Jesus.
I've seen people like on Twitch or wherever play WoW on like an Xbox controller. I feel like it would be potentially easier on an iPad. I don't know.
My only thing is that there aren't buttons for an iPad, obviously. So you really only have 10 options, and let's be on the real, you really only have 8 because no one's thumbing things. So will it just be you're doing tap tap revolution while also tapping to walk and tapping to jump? And
do people like attach like a keyboard and a mouse to their iPad?
that's the
Right?
thing. Vanderlyle made a joke saying it'd be $1,000 peripheral, but maybe if it does happen, it will be you can use an iPad instead of a monitor screen. Like, you can run the game off of your iPad, but you need a mouse and you need a keyboard to actually like do anything.
I mean, because like I do know that like keyboard attachments are a thing for sure.
Yeah, it's just you don't need to now bring a laptop with you. You can just bring your iPad with all the stuff.
Okay, so look, this has never happened before. I've never, except for when Squishy was arguing in the Wowhead comments, I've never seen the poster of the article post again in the comments. Archimetros, who wrote the article, posted.
I love him. I used to hang out with him and Bastion all the time.
One of your little owl boys.
Hoot hoot.
Hooty hoot. He says, took a little time to put together. On the surface, it sounds like, yay, more WoW support for macOS. Although the reality is a bit more complicated. To my knowledge, Blizzard doesn't even use the game porting kit for its support development. Although the inclusion of the War Within on the slide, so like I said, it was on the slideshow, suggests some change in the game support. I'm willing to bet it fucking slips in there by accident and nobody pulled it out in time. That's my guess. Also, I do want to highlight this one comment. Someone says, +10 weekly, no iPadders. That would be funny. Seeing it on the fucking dungeon queue list, trying to queue in for something.
I mean, like, I would not blame people saying that.
So we'll see. The War Within Apple, will it happen? Will it not? Who knows? Will we be the worm? The worm within?
Whoa.
I didn't get that one. I'm so sorry.
Worms and apples. The little stickers of worms and apples. Worms love apples. People out there are laughing. If you're laughing, send me an email at navarrocoffin@gmail.com and I'll give you the beta key even more.
You'll increase your chances. So in Richard Scarry's busy city, lowly worm, a star citizen, drives an apple car. Do you think that's fucked up? Or do you think it's like apples are his favorite thing as a worm? So he's like, yeah, I'm going to get a custom car that looks like an apple.
I don't think it's fucked up. I think it's the latter there, and I also got word that he could potentially be able to play World of Warcraft on this car.
Well, you know what? He would be the one to test it, because Lowly Worm, being a lowly worm, really only has his butt to hit the buttons, so if you can play it with just one big appendage slapping on the screen, I feel like then we're cooking.
I've heard people say that, like, if you play a hunter, you could basically just, like, roll your face on the keyboard and do damage, and that's effectively really what it would be doing.
+10, no iPadders, no worms.
And then in the subtext, unless lowly, because he's cool.
Also, okay, we got some more humongous news that I feel like people aren't talking about enough. Well, I don't know, I'm not on Twitter. They're looking at expanding the Drakthir classes. And it's all but confirmed by our boy in the vents, Ian Hazekostas.
Yeah, this is confirmed. He came through our ventilation system earlier today and dropped us a little bit of information.
Just on like an old napkin. You just saw it slowly float down from the vent. And it's like, Ian.
It's kind of long. I'll just read part of it. But he says, this is from game director Ian Hazekostas. One thing we do want to make happen is Drakthir of a wider variety of classes. I think it makes sense as the events of Dragonflight come to an end, as the Drakthir emerge into Azeroth as a whole, that these ancient, battle-scarred warriors can learn how to wield an axe, or learn how to cast a frostbolt, or other such thing. That should be cool to have, and obviously they would focus more on playing visage form if they want to. So I think there's a cool aesthetic to being able to just be a visage form Drakthir mage. Holy fuck, that would be so cool. Not having to be a dragon, like it's so like having the option would be so nice. I love the fact that I could be a dragon and be a regular human, but I like my human form a lot more than my dragon form because I can fucking put clothes on it. What, you don't want to be a visage form? Uh-oh. Aaron, are you worried they're coming for you next?
Well, no, I'm not worried they're coming for me because they already did. I will side tangent. I saw someone with the like for the hunt perk, the thing that you can do on Worgen where when you're not in combat, you turn into a white guy. And I'm like, you coward, you fool. But no, I don't know. It would be cool, but to have Drakthir just do other stuff. But it feels kind of lame to be like, yeah, they can do other stuff as, an elf. I don't make the games, but if they already put their hand out to shoot a laser beam, you can just have a fireball come out instead.
Well, so I think part of it, and I think they have been setting this up with the questing that they had us do with Emberthal, is that the Drakthir didn't exactly choose to be created as dragon monsters. Like, they were kind of just made by Neltharion, and that they could have a visage form if they so choose to have one that represented them more. So Emberthal said, my visage form is a fucking dragon, bitch. I'm gonna be a dragon. Like, I am a dragon. But some of them are like, I don't want to be a fucking dragon. I want to look like a regular ass person and blend in and be like a normal dude. So, like, I could kind of see where this is, like, they kind of, like, gave us a good lead-in for it.
Yeah, like, I think it's a cool concept, because basically we've said it on this podcast in the past that, like, why wouldn't a Drakthir who has been interacting with all of these other classes and races and people and things throughout all of Dragonflight, like, who's to say that, like, they couldn't just pick up an axe and decide that they wanted to be a warrior or something? But, okay, Slide, as our resident evoker main, what exactly are there, like, the racials or, like, abilities that, like, a Drakthir have? And, like, how would they translate to, like, other classes?
Well, they wouldn't be able to do them because they're all, like tail swipe or, like, soar.
Right.
You can't do that as an elf.
So it's tail swipe. I think one of them is the knockback. I don't know. It's basically Typhoon, but for dragons.
Well, yeah, isn't it Wing Buffet?
Wing Buffet, yes, Wing Buffet. And then also, not only that, but the fucking double jump. We can't have double jumping warriors. Like, that's crazy. Everyone would have it. But it seems that he put more emphasis on the visage form. He does if they want to. So I don't know. I almost feel like it would have to come with understandably changes to the racials if you're gonna play not the dragon, right? Because if you make them able to double jump, then automatically being a Drakthir warrior will be like the best option, right? Like, would it not?
Yeah, I mean, unless they make the double jump and, like, those abilities just, like, evoker specific somehow.
And I don't think it'd be that crazy to do that since, being an evoker is basically using your dragon abilities. Like, that is what you are. So I could see them nerfing the abilities or maybe offering an alternative in some way. I don't know how you do that.
So then my main question is that, like, so this would specifically be for people that want to play a high elf looking dragon. So basically a high elf with some scales and some other things on their selves, like just aesthetically to be something other than an evoker. Is that, like, what this is?
Maybe. I mean, I could see them. They can keep Soar, obviously, because you can't use that in combat, right? I don't really see a problem with them keeping Tail Swipe and Wing Buffet because they could just pop in and out really quick, right? You pop in, you knock them out with your tail, you pop back out, you hit them with an axe. You pop into the form, use your wings to blast things, you pop back out really quick, and now you're hitting them with an axe again. That's not that crazy to me. The big one for me is honestly the double jump. That's the one that I think they're going to have to fucking not let people do.
Well,
can you double jump when in your visage form or no?
Yeah. Yeah, you can. you get a little burst of air behind you. And yeah, demon hunters can do it, but like obviously, demon hunters are only demon hunters, right? Giving it to warriors it changes the game. Giving it to mages probably won't be as game changing with blink and with casting, but I think they're gonna have to really like, worry about like the melee classes with double jump as they go forward, because it's just gonna become the fucking the hotness. You're gonna have to.
If they go through with this, I will be interested to see what there are more of in this world: purple void elves or like big dragon people, Draktheirs, because all you're telling me with this is, we heard you didn't like being big lizard man. Don't worry, no one needs to ever be them again, and so they won't.
I mean, he's saying it. I think the way he words it is it's an option. He says, obviously they would focus more on playing Visage form if they want to. So I think it's just an option, and I think it's going hand in hand with the Visage form questing that they had available. Well, I think it's fine. If people can fucking be void elves, why the fuck not? Like, but also then he goes and talk about other races. He says there are some other races. For example, it's very hard to imagine being druids. I don't know what a goblin druid or a mechanome druid would look like in Azeroth culturally. In terms of their traditional background and what the Druids of the Grove and Cenarian Circle typically value and welcome in, no uggos, I would never say never, but I don't think we have any immediate plans for future expansion like we've seen over the course of Dragonflight beyond Draktheir. So this is basically saying, this is only for the Draktheir. We're not going to be lifting any other class restrictions as of now that we're thinking about in the next near future.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's interesting though that this is in conversation. So I am curious what they're actually thinking. You know?
Yeah, I honestly think it's a story progression, because like the Draktheir would have been frozen after a millennia of being a rock statue against their will, being used as an agent of war, and now it's just like, well, maybe we don't want to fucking breathe a laser beam. Maybe we want to do something else. And you can't really do it with anybody else. I was gonna say maybe the Earthen, but the Earthen are already starting off as being able to do pretty much anything that their other dwarf counterparts can do. And the demon hunters, you know, they ate a demon. Like, they're pretty much locked into being a demon hunter at this point.
Though it is fucked up that there are demon hunters with eyeballs. There are eyeballed ones, right? And then there's blind ones. So it's like, seems like that's a little unfair.
They're all blind, technically.
They are all
technically,
blind?
they all have their eyes
I'm
gone.
sorry. The physical model that is green, that's them representing like Illidan green spectral eyeballs.
Yeah, so it's like they like sacrifice their eyesight, but in exchange they gain like a second sight eyesight.
Yeah, it's like Daredevil. For whatever reason, I thought that just when they take the orb model and make it green, it's just like, oh, this guy's got green eyes. And I was like, it seems like hardly a trade-off when this other guy just has bandages.
It's like burning fell magic to see the souls of your enemy and the demon you ate inside of you. But yeah, very interesting changes. You know, I don't know what I'm going to do in War Within. I thought I was going to play a Mechanome Warrior for a little bit, and now I'm like, I'm kind of over that guy. So, I don't know.
I think I'm probably going to stick to my, like, double mains. I mean, if I'm being realistic. But honestly, I do think my Death Knight might be in rotation, like, as, like, a third.
I want to bring my Paladin, my Dwarf Paladin down there. I think it'd be cool to have, like, a Dwarf meet his Dwarf ancestors or his Dwarf cousins. But Paladin, I don't know. We'll see. You know, Paladin always gets a rough start at the beginning, according to every Paladin player in the world.
They just have a lot to say, honestly.
We got some bronze buffs coming into MOP Remix. Really fucking good changes. We knew this was coming. We knew it was going to happen. I'm surprised it came this soon, though.
Well, last week I did say that my interest was starting to wane. So they heard that and they said, "Oh, we gotta make sure to keep them going."
Yeah, so the bronze earned from the caches that you get, they increased that shit by 100%.
It's hella great. And the threads you earn from spools are increased by 200%, so that your stats be better.
So the cache this is just the rocks that you break apart when you do a significant activity.
Yeah.
This is not the bronze that you can find in enemies or in boxes.
It says bronze caches, so I think the boxes might have. I think it's mostly for like the daily stuff and like
Yeah, the big orange rock that you can smush when you do one of each activity.
But like I've gotten to the point where I basically just log into Mop Remix to do like the dailies. I do like my raid wing on LFR. I do like my heroic dungeon. I'm gonna do my heroic scenario, and like that's what I do for the day. And so like basically all of that, I would just get like double bronze, right?
Yep.
Yes,
which is nice.
You get 7,500 now. I know because I did it earlier today.
So good. We so because we did a quick raid on Tuesday. It was really fast, probably our fastest yet. We blew through that shit. So on Wednesday, when Lynn was here, we did mop heroic raids, where basically Cheat, Gronk, Lynn, and Ahoy fucking went balls to the wall at his Warlock.
Ooh.
Carried like 5 people who we all died pretty much every single fight, and those 4 would just kill it off for us. We killed every single raid. We killed them all on heroic.
Oh, wait, so are you like a Claw of Avernus now?
No, because I woke up from my nap because Immune wasn't here to keep me awake because he was out at a celebration of life. And
Wait, no. Okay, first off, no one died. It was not a celebration of life. It was a happy hour with like people I used to work with.
Well,
Also,
that's what he said. Life's going good. You guys need to celebrate. Where did all this death business come from?
Okay. Anyways, I mean, like, Slidewhistle has a problem where, like, whenever I leave the house, he just enters into a comatose state.
I get peace and quiet, and I just fall asleep, you know? So anyway, so I woke up, what time is it? And it was like 9, and I'm like, oh, they're not doing anything. And I see 8 people in Discord, and I'm like, let me get in here. And they were just doing the last boss of Terrace of the Endless Spring on Heroic. So I'm missing the first 3 bosses on Terrace of the Endless Spring, Toes. But we did all the rest of them. So we did Siege, we did Lightning King, we did the other ones.
I just want to say, I love that that raid is abbreviated as Toes. And I saw this meme going around of like this screenshot of somebody posting in a group saying like, fresh, clean toes.
So, well, we blast through these things. It felt kind of weird just being straight up carry, but I'm like, I don't give a shit. Give me fucking bronze. But I carry all the fucking time.
Yeah, it's not like anyone's really like logging in to be like, oh boy, we did it. This is like, I'm earning my keep. Everyone's just trying to get the funny money to kill bosses they see every day and have for the past month.
Yep. So basically an almost full clear of all the heroic raids, right? Except for the very first one and a little bit of the second one. We did it all, and I got enough bronze to purchase 2.5 big ass mounts. So I bought the Korkron Juggernaut, I bought Jikun, and I have like halfway to the next mount. And I'm like, Jesus, all that from all these raids one day? Like, that's crazy.
Love that, honestly. I honestly wish I was here instead of that happy hour.
I wish I didn't eat a lot of Korean barbecue and have the worst itis of my life.
Whoa, that sounds great though.
My head hit the pillow at 8:30 and I woke up at 9:30 a.m.
Holy
the
shit.
next day.
That shit knocked you out. How much did you eat?
Yes, too much. Cubby Bub was like, I got scared. You're never the guy to like sleep in or go to bed that early. And I was like, I don't even know. I was in a Korean barbecue wonderland.
She's like, I've never seen you asleep past 7 a.m.
She's like, if the sun goes up, Aaron's normally awake. I thought you perished.
That is, yeah. No, I thought I died. I thought I was
a celebration of life.
Yeah, we were about to have to throw my celebration of life.
Speaking of celebrations of lives, it's time for our top 2 bottom boot medium moo.
Whoa!
I'm gonna go first with the top 2. Oh my god. So there's a War Within change that's coming. It's an option I think you can turn on. It's called Silhouette When Obstructed. That means when you cannot see your character because you're behind a tree or you're behind a big fucking dragon wing, it will give you a black shadowy outline of where your character is.
Oh my god. Y'all remember when we were progging on Razageth for the first time in the first season of Dragonflight and we had to use, like, whatever that item was on Razageth that made her translucent so that we could, like, properly see where we were and, like, so that we wouldn't get hit by, like, all the sparks and things?
Abso-fucking-lutely. So I'm excited for this. This would be so good. Because when we do Razageth, now that, you know, Vegemite is gone, because he's a big baby, now we don't do that anymore, the sparkle thing, because he was the one doing it. So now I can do its option to be fantastic. It'll be so good. That's it, though. What about you, Aaron? Top 2. Bada boop. Be moot.
Well, I hate to say I did not spend as much time in the World of Warcraft, but
Loser.
I do have a top toot this week.
Two.
And it comes all the way across the sea from the world of Overwatch 2, and that is that they just recently announced that the Pink Heart Mercy is coming back. It was a limited time fundraising event thing. But like so many WoW mounts and goodies from the before times, it coming back has crashed the scalping community. I'm watching people scream and
Wait,
tear
how
their
is it
hair
coming
out.
back? Like, are they just going to put it on the shop?
They're donating to cancer again.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just the skin's
okay.
back. You can
You know, I would have been really mad if they just put it in the shop and it was just for money to Blizzard instead of, like, for a donation.
This is the
to
best
cancer.
way to do it. Also, they're also adding a rose gold pink Mercy skin that I'm gonna buy the shit out of that when that comes out. We're gonna beat cancer this time, guys, with rose gold Mercy.
We're gonna do it.
Honestly, like, I'll buy that shit too. I love pink Mercy skins, so, like, I want them all as a Mercy man here.
Well, I, for one, was going to put my money towards Evasion's sale of it for $2,550.
What? Are you for real? People really... What?
Too expensive for you? Don't worry. Royal __ has 4 Smurf accounts selling it that range from $936 to $1,170 to $1,287.
Who would buy this?
I guess Immune. Mercy guy that you are. How much would you have spent on her did you not have her?
I wouldn't pay... Because all that's illegal. Like, it's buying an account, right?
You have to get rid of your account. You'd have to buy Evasions.
Why didn't you buy it the first time it was around? Do you not want to donate to cancer relief?
Ooh, the truth come out.
No, I bought it. I have
okay.
it.
Just checking,
I just wanted to make sure you're on the up and up.
Why didn't you buy it, Aaron?
I don't like Mercy.
So you like cancer?
Mercy.
You like cancer?
Mercy is a cancer in my life.
Aaron likes cancer, everybody.
Love it. Big fan.
Well, I also have a top toot this week.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's see it.
Toot.
Well, I'm going to whip it out and just let you guys
Whoa,
know
whoa.
Oh,
that I'm just very excited about this substantial, large, hard increase to bronze that we can earn in Mop Mix.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
because you're vaguely brown. That's why you can refer to it as bronze.
Oh my god. But no, I think it's a great change. I already was like cruising through this mount collection just by doing the dailies on one character. So like this is great. It definitely will make me continue. Like I Aaron, I think you're right. I think they realized, because Ian listens to this show, that we were starting to wane our interest, and they're like, here, do this. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm back for a bit until I decide to come on air in a few weeks saying that my interest is waning again, so they double it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just keep complaining week in and week out. You know what? I take it back. It's snooze fest. I hate doing it. Looking at a Neil Warg makes me want to cry. And now I'm just looking for John Haidt to sneak back into the office and hit the 4 times multiplier.
boy, there sure aren't enough traders tenders in the me to get. I sure don't hope they add more options for me to get more for this month.
Real talk, though? Like, for real.
I sure hope no one does the Laura Croft breast goof 'em up on the amount of tenders I get. That was a thing, by the way. They were supposed to increase her bust size by 15%, and they said 150 when they were making the first game. And they said, ooh, wow, big boobies. And they just kept it. Speaking of big boobies, I'm going to use the lovely money that these patrons provide to get myself a big booby job. These lovely mammary mamas include Ahoy Vince, Instinct / Drag Race, Azar, and Digital Dave, asking Growlina to say, for the Horde. Mitch, who wants to remind everyone that Rathian isn't daddy, he's a literal child. Crucifix, Saracen Hawk, Chris M, Kick Puncher, Jerome, Drew, the 760 Rusto Druid, Adorno,
Abracadabra, bitches.
Losing the Patient, Hershey Super Squirt Day, Calcus, looking forward to Panda Express hijinks, Huzzah, Johnny's Friday is saved, Wooly, Slidewhistle Secret Stalker, tee-hee-hee, Adam N, Vanderlyle, and Will, aka Tyre, Trade Chat's fallen father.
Shout out to those busty biddies. If you want to send us some titty pics, send them over to donotrelentlpod@gmail.com. I mean,
legally
don't do it. Don't do it legally.
There is zero interest to see your titties amongst the three hosts here. I'm sorry.
Hey, if you can seduce Aaron, maybe you can be a home wrecker. I'm just saying.
My marriage is only like 2 years old. You can break it.
Aaron doesn't need to see your boobies because, as he mentioned, he will be getting his own.
It'll be hard to see your boobies over my big, massive honkers.
So if you want to hear more of this, you can tell this is going to be a pretty interesting After Dark episode. Check that out at patreon.com/do-not-relent. What about you guys? Where are you at?
Well, you can find me, Alex, or Immunization on Twitter at New Era Alex, or on Blue Sky at Immunization.
You can find me, Aaron the Human, at the Bigacheesy on Twitter.com, and watch me play Vigigrams at twitch.tv/AaronDNR.
All right. We salute your shorts.
You already did that.
Remember,
Another down. Do not relent.
Do Not Relent is a podcast within the 3HNC network, representing U.S. Proudmoore's premier podcasts.
That was a very good wish.